Hi everyone, my name is Mark and I was just demonstrating a super simple and short circus routine that you can do at home for your mum and dad, or for your brother and sister, or for your dog and cat, or goldfish. Now I decided that I would, without talking, do a very short little juggling routine. Now I know some of you guys at Warehouse Circus know how to juggle, some of you maybe can't quite juggle yet. But what I'm going to be teaching you today is some of the really simple ways that you can turn a trick into a show. So Warehouse Circus is of course all about learning how to do tricks and also how to perform those tricks. And we spend a lot of time learning different tricks, whether it's juggling or all of the other object manipulation type tricks, or whether it's acrobatics or adagio or trapeze or whatever it is. And there's lots of different reasons we want to do tricks. The main reason, of course, is it's fun and it's healthy and we enjoy it. It's a great thing to do, so many benefits. But one of the things that we like to do with tricks is to put on a show, and I'm sure some of you guys have had a fair bit of experience of doing shows. I've got decades of experience of doing a certain style of show, sort of a comic clown character type show. So what I'm going to do today is break down maybe the way that you can do a really simple show at home. Now, I've used juggling balls. So that's the example I just did, juggling. And we don't need to worry about if you can juggle or not. What we need to know, or what we need to do, is just to learn how to do a trick and to perform it. So a trick could be anything. A trick could be standing on one leg. It could be, I don't know, doing an arabesque. It could be anything you want it to be. It can be a trick of your body, or it can be a trick with an object where the object is not your body. So what I did at the very start when I wasn't talking was something quite simple, where I was trying to incorporate a few different things. Walking onto the stage, presenting to the audience, presenting to the props, picking up the props, having a bit of anticipation, so I'm going to do a trick, and building up the suspense, doing the trick, presenting, bowing. I put one of the props down and I did something funny and then I walked off. Now that's a lot of little things, but sometimes if you're doing a show, it's good to know about those things. And we're going to try and keep it pretty simple, and what I'm going to do right now is break down what I did before. So let's try. Step one, you enter onto the stage. How you enter determines a lot about what you're about to do. You could enter a bit sillily. That's not really a word, but I said it anyway. It's a silly word from a silly man. You could enter seriously. So step one, entering, quite seriously and, straight. I can't do serious. Okay, step two could be acknowledging your audience. It could be as simple as looking, or it could be a present. So, step one, enter. Step two, present. Step three, now in this case, I've got the props on a table. So you could either have the props bringing in with you, or you could have them preset on a table. If you preset the props, that's really good because it's called the contract. The audience sees the props. It's telegraphing or letting the audience know that you're most likely going to do something with 3 balls and probably juggling them, which is okay if you want them to know. The other option could be to come on with, say, the props not visible and to reveal the props, or to come on with them visible and just present to them. But the way I did it was I came in, I walked in, I presented to the audience, then I presented to the props. Now, before we do the trick, you might want to just go straight into it, because it might be doing a show to a soundtrack. Or, depending if it's a really difficult trick, like say one of the hardest tricks, or if you're just doing one trick, you might want to build up dramatic tension. Now what does that mean? It means you're creating a suspense that something really amazing and fantastic is going to happen. Now if you just do the trick, if I just come on like this and leave, well, I've done a trick, but everyone's seen a juggler before. I haven't really engaged with the audience, and that's what this is all about. the people who are watching, they want to be entertained. Most likely, they're going to want to clap and they're going to want to enjoy the experience. Some people like to enjoy the experience by heckling you. Other people like to enjoy the experience by laughing and showing their appreciation. So it's really important that as well as learning the trick, you learn how to communicate with your audience. And we do that in a lot of different ways. The most obvious way we communicate is with our voice, which I'm doing right now. But there are other ways you always need to think about, especially if you're doing a circus or what we call a physical theatre show. Now, physical theatre is what it suggests. It's being physical with your body. And your body tells a story. At the moment, the story it's telling is I'm a bit of a weirdo. So we might want to tell a different story. Basically, what we're going to do is go through those 3 steps again. Let's see where we're at. Step 1. Put the balls back. Okay. Step 1, I enter. Step 2, present. Step 3, present to the object. Step 4, we're going to build up anticipation, dramatic tension. Here we go. Step 5, we're doing a trick. Okay, 5 steps. 6th step is presenting after you do the trick. And this is really important. Sometimes we forget it. It's called an applause point, which is what it means. It's a point in your presentation or your performance where you're signaling to the audience physically with your body that you want an applause. So let's try all of those again. Step 1, enter. Step 2, present. Now, notice I've changed that up already. I've confused myself, but that's okay. I'm presenting with the props. So, step 3, present to the props. Step 4, build up tension. Step 5, do the trick. Step 6, present. And if it's the end of your routine, we go into step 7, which could be a bow. Signal to the very end. Now, you can add a few more steps if you want. You can have 100 steps, 1,000 steps. But I'm going to say, step 8 is I'm going to get a bit silly. So instead of using these juggling balls as juggling balls, I'm going to use them as something else. An attempt at comedy. Alright, here we go. And then maybe step, whatever we're up to, I've lost count, I think it's 9, then we exit. So, without further ado, I'm going to go through this one more time with all of the steps, and let's see how that works out. Step 1, enter the stage. Step 2, present to the audience. Step 3, present to your props. Step 4, we're going to build some dramatic tension. Step 5, we do a trick. Step 6, we present. Step 7, we take a bow. Optional extra, step 8, do something silly with the props. Step 9, leave. So, there we go, 9 steps for doing a little show. And you don't have to follow these steps at all. You can do whatever you want. But the most important thing is that you try and engage. Now, there's lots of different types of performances. You could do a comic character performance where you've got a bit of circus in there, but basically you're there to be a little bit silly, a bit stupid. Or you can do a serious, straight, perhaps a high skill, circus show where there perhaps is, very little engagement with the audience, apart from, say, the occasional present. But whatever sort of performance you're doing, it's really important to be aware of your audience and show a little bit of warmth, a little bit of human kindness, and that can be as simple as a smile. If you don't feel like smiling, just it's acknowledging your audience is there, they've come to see. The more you can do that, and the more you can learn how to do that, as well as learning how to do the skill, the more fun it's going to be. Now, I'm rambling on a bit, so let's stop rambling and do something else. Now, you're at home at the moment, and you might have some balls at home, some tennis balls, or even some juggling balls. You might know how to juggle, you might only know how to do something with one ball, so you might want to make a trick, throw it back and forth, and that's your trick, or throw it under your leg, and that's your trick, or behind your back, and that's your trick, or bounce off your head, and that's your trick. You decide. You kids are generally better than us adults and coming up with new and amazing ways to use the circus equipment, which is always great to watch. So you can do some stuff with balls, juggling, but you could choose any object you want. And I've got an object over here which I think could be quite fun. Household object, a common day plunger. Just so happens that if I get not one, but two of these common household objects, we can do some tricks with them. Now this is a trick, or a sequence of tricks that I've done before. But what I'm trying to demonstrate is that you don't need to use circus equipment. You can use anything you want at all to do your trick. The main thing is we've got 9 steps, but it's really as simple as 2 steps, really. It's you're doing a trick and you're making people have a good time. They're the 2 main things. It's coming onto the stage, it's being aware of your prop, it's telling a story with your whole body, with your face, and also with your voice. Now that story might be as simple as, I'm a circus performer, I'm on stage, I'm doing a trick, and I hope you like it and I want you to clap. Or it could be, I'm a circus performer, I'm on stage, I'm being a little bit silly, in fact I'm being completely ridiculous and I'm not even doing a circus trick, I'm just throwing stuff around, but I still want you to pay me some attention because it's fun. So you need to work out where you are on that spectrum. Now all the tiny tucks that I've taught before, they're all little 3 and 4-year-old clowns running around being absolute fun, silly people. And then of course the older, say professional development groups or performance troupes at Warehouse have a much higher skill level and they're more focused in that area. So you need to work out what type of show you want to do. So my point is you can use just about any object that you want at home to do a circus trick. You don't need all the fancy circus equipment, but if you have some, that's great. So of course I've just demonstrated some tricks with a common day plunger, and I've got something else. Where's it gone? Oh, there it is. Oh, what's this? Oh, what could this be? Oh, hang on. Oh, hang on. Ooh, this is strange. Ooh. Excuse me. I'm back, yes, so toilet paper roll. You could use a toilet paper roll to do tricks. Just about anything. A broom's a good example. You can balance or spin a broom, but we're going to look at what can you do with a toilet paper roll. This one's been undone, so we'll get a better one. Here we go. So we've got this toilet paper roll, and we can throw it and catch it like it's a ball. For example, with 3 toilet paper rolls, we could try a trick called cigar boxes. So I'm not too sure what's more politically correct at the moment, cigar boxes or toilet paper, but the main thing is we can turn this everyday household object into something that we can do a show with and learn a new trick with. So we've toilet roll cigar boxes. All we need to do is go like that. So we've got one in each hand. Hopefully your hands will be big enough. If not, you can just try something else, but you can throw it up and down like that, or you can flick it around, or this sort of thing. Of course, another option is you don't even have to do a trick at all. You can just do something stupid, like a lot of you do in class anyway. For example, let's do the 9 steps without really doing a trick, but at least we're still presenting something and following some sort of sequence or way of doing things. Here we go. Step 1, enter. Step 2, present yourself to the audience. Step 3, present the object in question. Step 4, build up some anticipation. Step 5, do something with it. Step 6, present. Step 7, bow. Step 8, do something silly, if that wasn't silly enough. And step 8, leave. I think I might have exhausted the number of stupid jokes I'd like to do today with toilet paper, tricks you could do at home. I think we could choose another very common item which you should have at your house, which I think is a great starter for doing a trick. The common broom. Now the broom is really, really useful because Yeah, be gone, toilet paper! Be gone! It's a great prop to do a little show at home, although maybe outside for your mum and dad. Probably the most obvious thing we can try and do is balance it. And we won't be able to see this video, but I'll get down really low. Now, if you're balancing an object, I'm sure many of you kids already know, you need to look up at the top of the object. Or we could use it as a staff, something really simple, and then finish off, we can, sweep off stage. So that's the brooms, I think, a perfect example of a prop you can find at home where you could do a show. If you're going to do something inside, maybe choose a smaller prop. So to finish off, I think it's about time we swept this video away, and I'll just demonstrate the 9 steps of what you could do with a little performance with a broom. Let's start with it on stage. Imagine you can see the whole thing. Oh, we'll put it like this. There we go. Now you can see the whole thing. It's a broom. How interesting. Now it's more clearly a broom. No, it's not more clearly a broom. Ah! See, now we've got a comedy act because I'm trying to balance the broom, you stupid broom! Ah, the humble broom. Where would we be with our little, circus show with a bit of comedy without a humble broom, ladies and gentlemen? Now, we just did the 9 steps where I was suggesting you come out and, present yourself, present the prop, do a trick, present it again, blah, blah, blah. It's getting pretty complicated. Here's another example where we can just do, some of those things that are just in a random order. We make it up as we go along. I'll say what I'm doing as I do it. So, step 1, I'm entering, and I'm the official broom sweeper. So I'm sweeping the broom. And step 2, there's the audience. I'm acknowledging the audience. A bit of a wave. Step 3, there you can see, look what I'm doing. I've got an idea. I've got the broom and I've got an audience. I'm transforming from a clinger to a circus star. So here comes the trick. And a little present, and a little bow, and something silly. It's a toothbrush, and a goodbye. So there we go, that's something really, really simple. But I'm going to leave it now for you kids to decide what you want to do, because there are so many different objects at home, and there are so many different ways that you can apply circus to an everyday object or a prop you have. I hope that's been useful and that you've learned something, and I hope that you have a lot of fun at home learning how to do tricks for your parents with objects you might have, and also having a go at some of the performance ideas I've given you. Thanks everyone. Hope to see you at Warehouse Circus soon. Bye!